Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome back to another story time video. Whoop whoop. In today's video I'll be telling you when I first started to play League of Legends. I thought it was fitting since I am playing Malzahar, who's one of my favorite champions ever, that I should just tell you how, it came to be and how my whole League experience started. So about 9, 10 years ago, my cousin uh, he tried to get me into it at first, but I told him no, that it seemed kind of stupid because how he described it, he's like, dude, it there's little girls, teddy bears, huge giant beasts, and all this other stuff, just clashing together and killing each other. And I thought that was a dumb concept. I was like, nah, I don't like that at all. So I'm not gonna play it. Well, one day when I was at his place, he was playing it, and I'm like, dude, what is that? That actually looks pretty cool. He's like, dude, this is a game I was telling you about called League of Legends. I said, okay, I'll try it out. So I got on, and I picked Jax as my first pick. I was like, okay, I'll do it. And so I started playing, and just, oh wow, I fell hard for it. I was getting kills left and right. That was when dodge was still a thing. When Ninja Tabby wasn't, just blocking a percentage. You actually dodged, and you build dodge jacks, and nobody could hit you. Dodgy, nobody could hit you. Well, I decided, I'm gonna get into it, and I applied for the beta, and I got the beta key, and I was part of alpha, beta, and beta, and I played it religiously all the time, and it got as far as to I was trying to look for Wi-Fi in my car on the way to one of our camping trips in Michigan, and yeah, I might have had a little bit of a problem because even at rest stops, I would get into a 3v3, the original good Twisted Tree line, and I would just play the living crap out of it before I had to go. When we finally got to Michigan, uh, I was looking for Wi-Fi because we don't have Wi-Fi at the cabin. And well, I went outside and I was looking for service. My one of my old friends were with me, and my cousin was too. And they were like, "Bro, you're not gonna find Wi-Fi out here." And I found Wi-Fi from somebody that was 5 houses down. That was free Wi-Fi. So I would go on there and I would play it like for hours. And my dad finally was like, "Okay, that's enough. You gotta get off that game because this is a family trip. You ain't gonna play it, the whole time." Well, he told me that, and I was outside, still playing it. And he would be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm just doing homework. Don't worry about it." And he's like, "Well, finish up whatever you gotta do because we're gonna go to the beach." And I'm like, "Okay." Stuff like that. I would always just find stuff because he would never look at my computer. He wouldn't actually go through, like, look over my shoulder or whatever because, my dad actually knew privacy. My mom, on the other hand, uh, she was stalking me. Like, she was making sure, like, I wasn't playing that game. And every time when she came over to look, I would just alt tab, alt delete, whatever, to switch to another thing. And it was my assignments. And there was one time I slipped up, and my dad, well, what happened was my mom caught me. And what was happening was I was outside, I had my back towards my dad, or I was facing away from my dad. He was on the grill cooking up something, hamburgers and hot dogs, I guess, if that's relevant, if all of you want to know. And what ended up happening was my mom came around and I didn't see her. And she's like, "Oh, look at Mr. Gamer over here." And my dad's like, "Wait, what?" And I was like, "Oh, nothing, nothing." And I look at my mom, I'm like, "Shh, don't say anything." And she's like, "No, he's playing that game that you told him not to because, we're supposed to be a family and he's like, "Oh, hell no, he isn't." So he walks up to me in the middle of my game and takes my laptop away. And I'm like, "No, no, no, Dad, I'm in the middle of a game. Don't do this." He's like, "No, no, no. I'm taking it away. You're done." I said, "No, no, let me finish that game and I promise you can take the laptop away." He's like, You promise?" I said, "Yes, just let me finish that game." So he's like, "Fine, you can finish your game." So I was like, "Yes." So I finished my game really quick. And like I said, I was honorable and I gave him my laptop. And we had hamburgers and hot dogs, and it was a great day. It was very delicious food, by the way. And that night, when he was asleep, I decided to get a little bit sneaky, and I went in his room, and I was looking for my laptop. I was looking everywhere for it, and I finally crept out of his room because I couldn't find it. I'm like, where could he have put it? And I finally found it. It was in one of the cabinets, and I started to play on it. And as I started to play on it, I had the volume down like uber low because I wanted to hear stuff still, but I didn't want to wake anyone up. And my dad comes into the family room where I am playing on my computer, and he's like, "Really? You're gonna do that?" And I look at him and I was like, "How? What?" And he's like, "It's pretty obvious with a bright light that's shining right into my room." Because I forgot that uh, in our family room area, it's like mostly all window, and there's like maybe like two wooden walls, and both wooden walls have windows on them. And one was my parents' room, and the other one was my grandparents' room. And I was sitting right in front of my parents' room. And he's like, "Hey, look, I appreciate your gaming. I appreciate like that you're not doing it during family time, but you gotta stop sometime. And I'll let you keep your laptop as long as you only do this at night and spend time with the family." And I said, "You know what? All right, cool. I'll do that." And after that, school started and whatnot, and I was playing it even on school nights all the time. And eventually I was like, "You know what? Maybe I gotta stop." And I stopped playing it for a while, and I was in and out. And yeah, it's League of Legends ruined part of my life. I won't lie. I mean, all my friends loved it. I loved it. My girlfriends that I dated at the time, they didn't really care about it. They found it interesting, but they wouldn't play it themselves. All I have to say is, if you're getting into a game, you know, don't let it interrupt your family time, because family time only happens once in a while, especially if you're in a family like me that's always busy. So, try to keep, in touch with your family, don't always play those games. Get off of them once in a while, and don't end up like me, but play them as often as you can. Oh, wait, I didn't say that. I don't know who said that. Uh, anyway, thanks for watching this video. If you like it, please click on that subscription button and maybe that thumbs up for a little liking over here, please. you know, it'll help. Every little thing helps. You may not notice, but it does. So thanks again for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.